Hello, and welcome to this kind of bridge, really. This portal, this gateway. It can be called a lot of things, but we are definitely in it. We are definitely in this ascension window, and yeah, there's a variety of rationale about when and the timing of this ascension experience, but if we don't get caught up in the timing and just know that we're in the feeling of it, and we can sit safely with that without getting caught up in the mind, be in the feeling, we're in a very energetic experience of it. Hello, Charlotte, and hello, Sally. Welcome to both of you. Yeah, it's very, very cold, that's for certain, and the cold is often related to, we always have this heat and this cold, this transmutation energy. But yeah, very, very interesting. I've been away. We had a big gathering for our family, which was beautiful. So 30 of us all together for a few days. So that was really a lot of fun, and interesting to witness the men in our family coming more and more into their heart space, and more awakening, more awareness, more open in the heart, and open to this new way, actually. Even if it wasn't articulated, the conversations that we had were on a different level. Yeah, so I really wanted to speak to you about what I saw today, and yesterday, like in these last 2 days, pretty interesting energetically. Hello. Yes, the lights, they're pretty cool. So we've had all this aurora going on. Gaia always said that when we saw aurora in a part of the world that it wasn't normally seen, that would be an indication we are in ascension, and magnificent photographs that we've seen from all around the world. And we've seen light pillars and all of these auroras in different colors, and the jewel colors of the auroras, they are the masculine energy, and the softer opalescent, they're the feminine energies. But yesterday or the day before, there was this word that came. Actually, it was a few days ago. This word came that was freedom, and it was this notion that the Earth was coming into freedom as a planet. So then the next day came humanity. So this is why I wrote this very short post. Freedom comes for Earth now. Clarity, truth, and freedom for humanity. Become the light that you are. Receipt of abundance is rightfully yours. All that you have sent out, gifted, and granted is returning to you. The up-leveling of your physical body and psychic gifts continues. DNA reconnection back to 12 strands is in completion. Sit in silent contemplation of yourself. Your solar golden light radiating from your center, your higher power. Bring yourself into flow. Allow yourself to be in continual flow. Ensure that you have let go of everything and everyone, and all the old ideas, beliefs, and patterns. And this is so you can come into the higher. So everybody, whether you love them, hate them, despise them, let them go. Disconnect from them, knowing that as you come into the higher, that they can reconnect, and they won't be holding you in the lower, and you won't be holding them in the lower. So there's that aspect of it. There's this idea that, I'll just speak to it as I come to it. Remember, the body changes. So we're in, our bodies are in physical transformation, and that will happen through each of our systems and structures. But I want to speak specifically about the heart. So the heart The heart is going to change in a couple of, in more than, the heart is going to change. The higher heart, the soul plate, that's here around the thymus, that's going to change. It's going to have an upgrade, as is the physical, or the heart that aligns across the chest to do with the physical heart, but the heart chakra. So the heart chakra and the higher heart chakra. So you could see them. They can be viewed in a number of ways. They can be viewed in a way that's crystalline. They can be viewed in a way that's like a lotus flower unfolding. They can be viewed as flames. They can be viewed also as fractals. And I want to speak to you right now about viewing them as an orange. So not that they are an orange, but this is an easy way to describe it. So I was showing this, I don't know when, a few years ago, that when we have these physical upgrades, that the heart will become segmented into quads or quad. It's even hard to define. I'll lead you through it. I know I've spoken about it briefly before, but if you think about taking an orange and peeling it, and then you cut it across, and then each of the peeled orange comes into four, so it gets divided into quarters. So we have this upper quartile or quadranted heart and a lower quadranted heart. Now that's the positioning, not the hierarchy. And then there's a torus. So we have a toroidal field that comes around the higher heart and around the lower heart. And you could see that each of those quarters has an energetic field that runs around it. So that there's sort of four of those. So there's four sort of energetic loops that come into a torus in the center, and then also a torus that wraps them all up. So it's this, and then this, and it happens on the higher and on the lower. So that's very present, I want to say, in the energetic shift that we are in at the moment. And so that is having a big impact on this love that sits as we come into more unconditional love. We come into more of a higher love, where we are more accepting and more allowing, and where we're not passing judgment, not being in criticism of others, allowing everyone to be in their own process, in their own ascension process and order as well. And then there's this kind of other aspect in the physical to speak about, which is the throat, because we are in truth. So the throat is clearing, or has cleared, so that you can speak. And so this speaking from the heart through the throat. So many of you may be having those experiences in the physical. There'll be others as well, but I just wanted to reference those because we're right in this place of clarity and truth and freedom. So I want to say to you this. Yeah, so where we are now is in this big movement of the reveal of the truth. So anything that is not of the truth will be shown or will dissolve. The systems that are not based on truth, on authenticity, they will collapse. A lot of the ways in which our world has been run, orchestrated, controlled, that will be shown now so that we can make different choices. I wrote in here, will you own it? Will you claim it? Will you shift it? Or will you blame it? So as soon as you drop into that shifting into blaming outside of yourself, then you need to, if you want to be looking at it from a higher perspective, you come back to your role in it, your part in it, your response to it, your work around it. Because as soon as you're in blame, you are in a state of disempowerment, and that's not going to take you to the higher. So you might find that you get sort of, excuse me, that you get sort of pulled in, because it's like all the shite is being ousted from within us, around us, and from the earth as well. So you might be in the feeling of that. You might be noticing it coming up through your energetic field, and it might be bothering you. You might be feeling grotty, angry, all of those sort of more negative feelings. And I'm not saying ignore them, but I'm saying process them, look at them, be in self-inquiry with them, and just notice if they're yours or not yours, and process them through, because this, you need to own it. So own it, whether it's yours in a little way or yours in a bigger way, and process it, work with it, detach from it, observe it, see what it has to tell you. It's for you, not to you. Remember, whatever comes is for us. It's either for healing or for teaching or for learning or for growth. So you feel it, heal it, deal with it, smooth it, soothe it. Those kinds of words. Today I was really emotional when I tumbled out of bed. My sleep has been all over the place on a personal note. So I've had, lying awake at night and not sleeping at all, and then needing to have a bit of a nap during the day. But yesterday, I think, no, we're the 21st, so I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I saw like these like these spirals like this, the Ascension spirals. I saw it. If you can visualize being off planet, being in the sky, and visualizing the earth, and I saw these spirals, so they were all coming out of the portals of the earth. So you'll remember that in the beginning of March, I think it was, was it? Yeah, in the beginning of March, there was something about the portals being interfered with. That no, it wasn't. On the 16th, there was. Remember, I saw the dragons and the ascended masters, and they were in a meeting, and they were speaking about remedying. They were in deep discussion, problem solving, what is foreseen, and this allocating and sharing of jobs to be undertaken, and it connected to the portals being created and shut down. A juggling act with the dark, who were interfering and kept placing new fake gateways and portals into place. And so this, what I saw today, came as like the next step in regards to that. And this is what Gaia said. Do you know how precious you are? This is to you, not to me. This is to each of us. Do you know how precious you are? The portals in the earth are opened today. So they were showing up like holes that were breathing. That was how I viewed them. The earth is in balance and in equilibrium. They are open to be receiving the new codes in their fullness. Liken it to the breath. This breathing in and out through the portals, this receiving the full flow of plasma energy light codes. So coming in from the galaxy, coming in from the stars, from the sun. So there's that aspect, and it relates to this whole notion of our being turned inside out and upside down. So I wanted to tell you about how in the earth there are more cities than I've seen, but I have seen and connected with beings from Talos in the inner earth, And so to me, that shows up as like a crystalline city that has a blue haze, and a Dharma is the being who I've spoken to from there. And the other is Agartha. And the Agartha shows up as a crystal city that has a golden hue to it, like it's made from golden Gila crystal. And that in the back of that is the city of Shambhala. And Shambhala is our paradise, it's our Edenic, it's our higher consciousness, earth. And so it was interesting. Today I was being shown this idea, this notion of the earth turning inside out. So as the earth turns inside out, paradise, Shambhala, comes onto the external of the earth. We are kind of having that being turned inside out as we're returning to our original divine plan blueprints also. But it's this inner earth becoming the outer earth. And also the halls of records, they were rehoused into inner earth with Lady Sarah. So I don't know that I've mentioned that, but I was showing them shifted into there quite some time ago. It was like there were 2 sets of records being run, if you like, and every person's record showed up like a crystal rod, and suspended in a like in a spiral in a cavern in the behind Gaia's cave in the inner earth, and Lady Sarah being the guardian, if you like, of that. And so I just wanted to speak to you about that. So it's like it sits in as this spiral in this deep chasm in behind Gaia's cave. And I remember she said to me, you have to have wings to access that. And yeah, so today, as I went into the inner earth, I can tell you it was different. So I was like, how is this different? It's like I'm suspended just inside the crust. And what it was like the inner earth was spinning. So it was spinning as though there was an internal component that was spinning separate, like the crust was sitting there and the inner earth was spinning. It was separate, the internal separate to the external. That's how it showed up. So much golden light and energy, and it's like it portrayed me, or I saw myself as like an acrobat, a ribbon dancer, and when those ribbons are suspended from the ceiling, or sheets of cloth are suspended from above, and people wrap in them and they tumble in them. It was like I became one of those, moving like a dancer on the ropes and ribbons. That was how I saw myself. And there was a humming sound coming from the inner earth. It sounded a little bit like a distant engine. So if you can imagine being somewhere and hearing a motor or an engine from somewhere that you couldn't see it, but you could like hear it. It was like that. That I haven't noted before. And it also felt warmer. The inner earth felt warmer. And then when I went down into visit with Gaia, she was packing. So it's interesting, isn't it? So a long time ago, I saw all of these, were they gnomes? No, ants. These giant ants moving the adamantine crystals. And they were moving them across the back of Gaia's cave, and they were packing them into clay and sand. And when I asked, what are those crystals? So they were hexagonal adamantine crystals. They were hexagonal crystals carrying the adamantine codes for the up-leveled version of us. So they had one per person, and so I watched them carry those across the back of the cave, and then in behind that and over is where I've seen this spiral, this kind of helix with the with each person with their long crystal rod that has their Akashic records in it. So Gaia, right, I'm back. Gaia was packing away the loose crystals from around her cave, and then tying them down. And what she said was she was preparing for planetary migration, readying for our imminent return to our rightful position in the galaxy, nearer to Alcyon, the brightest star in the Pleiades. So that's what's happening on a planetary level. The portals are open, they're breathing, they're bringing in this new plasma light that's holding these higher codes. That's happening for us in our bodies as well. And then we are in this preparation for ascension, however that might look. I got shown our halos are returning. That's something that showed up earlier this morning. And actually, now that I think about it, someone I did a session with earlier today, there's some things that showed up like that for her. I'd forgotten that I'd seen some of that. Yeah, so it's like a crown of light. So it isn't like the halo that just sits above the head like we might be shown in the biblical references. It's more like a series of light nodes, I want to say, like little LED lights kind of around there, like a, like a bracelet, but it sits around here. That's maybe the clearest way I can define it. Gaia said many advanced light workers may be having an experience of threading the dimensional codes and frequencies between the 3D, 4D, and 5D. So this is what she explained to me was happening for me, because all weekend I couldn't find things. So I was in this total disconnect of time, space, and location. And so my notebook, for example, I just kept losing it. I would remember where I'd placed it, and I would go to look for it, and it wouldn't be there. My sister, who I was staying with, I explained to her what was happening for me, and I said, "Can you see my notebook?" Just straight away she'd say, "Yeah, here it is, here." But I couldn't see it when I looked. And so I don't know whether this has been happening for you or not, but this has been my experience, and that's what Gaia described it as: time, place, and location disconnection. Yeah, time, space, and time, space, and location disconnection. So this was my entire weekend was spent doing that, where I would put something down. I would even register it, and you'll remember I spoke about that happening with my keys here. So I was so particular about where I put things, because I wasn't even in my own house, and I still kept losing things. And so this was my experience. I don't know whether you are having those experiences. I'll have a look in here in a second. We're in preparation of maybe needing more sleep, more hydration, more grounding, more meditation. Give it to yourself if that's your message that you receive. And we're in this greater connection to our heart self and to Gaia. So the heart is going to lead the way here with decisions, this feeling, this intuition, for both the masculine and the feminine in our world, and for light workers. So if you think about it, it's like this movement, this dimensional shift up and down, threading through, bringing those higher dimensions down, allowing others to access them by providing a pathway, by providing an experience of them. So that's what many of you may be doing. You might be feeling that, and that was my experience that I described. That's what I was shown was occurring. So we are, I believe, and what Gaia has said is we are in ascension. We are in an ascension window now, and how that might look, I have not yet got to the bottom of it, because I don't want to get caught up with timing. But it could look like, I've been shown two ways that it could look. It could look like a group, a collective, the first wavers have already had a dimensional shift as a collective. And then as a collective, it's like that becomes attractive, that becomes magnetic, that becomes spreading and pulls the rest in. And then as that becomes, is that, if you think about it being perhaps a pool of water, and as more water gets added to it, the pool spreads and it attracts, what's that called, hydroscopic attraction to the others. So that is one way in which we could ascend. But the planet is in its preparation for movement, and that applies to us as well. So there's that could happen, and then the other aspect of it that could happen, which I've been showing both of these, is this. It's like a flick of the fingers, and we could be shifting. So that might be where we're put to sleep, and that when we wake up, we've had an ascension experience and we're existing in a fifth dimensional plane. So it's my understanding that perhaps the mechanism or the decision for how that's going to happen hasn't yet been decided, and there will be good rationale for that, I'm sure, because you remember that we were supposed to have this ascension experience once before, and so that's why it's been kept a little bit more closeted, because the last time it was interfered with by the dark, they interrupted it. So yeah, that's the information that I have to give to you today. Let me have a look in here. Cold and wet in Hakatiri, Ashburton. Hi, Nats. Hello, Mining Pluto and Arctos Girl. And hello, Lynn. This morning, seeing many African animals, in my third eye. Hippos, antelope, elephants, water buffalo, leopards, beautiful, half expecting an Attenborough voiceover. I wonder if that relates to I don't know if I've spoken of it, but I've been shown, Guy showed me that Africa would be made verdant, and part of what I saw with that was the migration north of I was shown the elephants, but it was just a representation of all of the sort of native animals in Africa, that they would migrate north. So I wonder whether it's to do with that. Hello, Betsy from Fort Lauderdale. I'm flying to Fort Lauderdale on my way to Bimini to swim with the dolphins. That's where I fly to from here. And hello, Jen, and blessings to you. And hello, Helen. Jessica, been having a really hard time the last few days forgetting the words I want to say way more than I usually experience. Okay, so that I want to say this. Don't assume that it's ascension. Sally and I had a conversation about that earlier today. But be mindful that it might be. I know that when we have brain upgrades, that's a bit of a symptom of that, and we have been having brain upgrades. Good morning, Angie from Scotland. Lynn's been misplacing things too, and physically shifting next week. Oh, interesting. And hello, Aniko. Yeah, so we really are in it. We're definitely in this ascension portal, whether it lasts, 1 day, 3 days, a millisecond, or 10 days. It doesn't really matter. Or whether we do this incrementally over a period of months. I want to say to you that someone in my family who has recently awakened, he said to me, well, what about the 8th of June? And I said, yeah, the 8th of June sits out, doesn't it? It has more energy, that date. I I think that's a potential date for ascension, but also I want to say I feel we could have our tipping point, our ascension moment before the end of this month. So this last week of May, or the last half of May, you remember I said how May, the energies of May would be like broken into two halves, but and with this last fortnight of May being accelerated and being higher frequency, and we're definitely in the feels of that, aren't we? And I just feel like it's just going to get faster, and like that whole thing in the inner earth with it spinning faster than it's ever. I've never noticed it spinning in the inner earth before. Um, so we're on the edges of this. There's this definite kind of spreading of this awakening energy. There's more open in the heart, and this is where we really make a difference when we are in this loving space and this acceptance of whatever is going on. That we're not making judgment about it. We're just in the knowing that people are clearing their stuff, and that we are in this movement as planet, as humanity, and that it could be that there becomes a tipping point, or it could be that we just have this ascension experience. And so you'll know that I've been told that it might be that we are put to sleep by the energies and we wake up and we're there. We know it has something to do with our dimensional shift and our DNA being reconnected, and we know that we're in process with that as well. We know that it comes with more heat. We know that the skies are giving us lots of messages and shapes and images, and the waters of consciousness, all of these things tie in to this ascension experience. The aurora is showing up, this idea of because the animals and the birds like shifting, migrating, all of that as well. Remember, Gaia spoke about how we would return to our original rhythms, our original seasons. Well, all of that will link into the migration of the animals. What else? Yeah, we can feel it, can't we? There's this sensation of being able to feel it. Jen is saying Pam Gregory, in conversation with Zach a few days ago, said this would likely last 7 weeks long. Don't remember if there was a start date, but it's soon. And I don't know what this is, Jen. What would last 7 weeks long? And we've talked before about this sort of magic of the 7 as well, how that carries the codes of magic and miracles. So there's to me there's like a lot coming into that 0 point that we can be excited about, and it's about just not holding on too tightly to the expectation of when, but be in the knowing. So sit in the knowing, in the allowance, transition into collective higher dimension. Okay, yeah, so there's some other takes on it, aren't there? But we're definitely in it. We're in this energetic of the warm up to it, of the spinning to the higher, of the movement through as planet, as humanity, and as this sort of population here on Earth. So returning to our rightful place in the galaxy as the crown jewel of the galaxy, the intergalactic destination point. The reason that we are precious is multi-layered. So we are precious and held in that way because we are a hybrid of many other species from around the universe. And so that's why there's this kind of investment in us, in our flourishing, I guess you could say that. So there's that so there's a lot of species that have an investment in us as a species, and there's also this curiosity of would we ever come out of our demise? And then we're in this place where it's like the dark, the Kabbalistic, the satanic. There's enough of it that has left that that the clearing out of the rest is more simple, less laboured. It's like there's no going. We're in that no going back. That came earlier this month. So there's all of these sort of threads coming in to this point. It's all coming in here in lots of different ways. Walking each other home. Beautiful, Jude. Thank you. Yeah, and so that's, that is what we are doing. So we came here for this, especially those of us here and others who are in this first wave of ascension, of awakening. We are leading the way home through the gateways, through the portals, and they are open now, and they are the correct ones. They are aligned, and they are open and welcoming for us to come home to ourselves and into the higher, in the readiness of creating the new. So this higher way of being, where we move into this way of being collective with one another. I think I've already said that. This, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. This moving from being fake to being authentic, from an external focus to an internal focus, from lies to truth, from the matrix to the quantum, from guilt and slavery to innocence and freedom, from the old earth to the new, from the 3D to the 5D, from the finite to the infinite. That's us. And we are on our way with it. Is it the going through portals that makes it difficult to breathe? I think that what it is that makes it difficult to breathe is the ratio of plasma, the makeup of the plasma, and yeah, try some different forms of breathing, Leah. Try breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Try some in and out of one nostril and then close the other nostril. That can help bring you into balance. There's this where you rub across your lips and rub your belly at the same time. That's another way of bringing your systems into equilibrium. So you could try that. The inner child in me wants to hold hands and skip. Yeah, so it's like there's so many aspects of it. So this opening of the heart, this the quadrangled aspect of the heart, these vortexes, these torus fields that are within the high heart, the lower heart, the solar plexus, that's this internal light, this internal heat, this internal sun. And that's where our inner child wounding is held. And so as that is healed, we can rebirth ourselves as well. So that's another aspect of it. There's like all of these bits coming in, like the asterisks coming in. Charlotte has eucalyptus oil rub into your chest. Is that for heart assistance and support, Charlotte? Oh no, that's for the breathing. For the breathing. Yes, that makes sense. Breathing. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I will love you and leave you to sit quietly with yourselves. It's a time really to do nothing beyond what is urgent, so that you can be nurturing of yourself and be noticing what is going on, and it's incredible. It's amazing. It's exciting. So, what else is there? Oh, yes, the Goddess course. So I haven't put anything out yet because I'm just waiting for my IT guy to get to it. But I'm going to be offering a Goddess course, becoming the goddess, or examining the qualities of various gods and goddesses, and then I'm looking to incorporate them and embody them. And so I'll be advertising that soonish, and that's going to be run in June and July of this year, 2 5-week blocks with a 2-week block in the centre. So as soon as he's got that done, I will be pasting it under in the description of my YouTube channel. I'll post it on Facebook and send it out in a newsletter. So yeah, there's some exciting things coming up in that regard as well. And yep, just know that if you need to reach out and book a session, so you can do that through my website, which is sharonmartin.com, and look forward to join in on my Facebook page if you feel to. Feel to make comment here and on the posts that I make on YouTube, so that we can help and assist and hold one another and share our gifts and talents and knowledge. And I wish you a beautiful rest of the afternoon, evening, night, and of this week. So we're coming up to a full moon in a few days. So there's so the other thing is that astrologically, we're in what is said to be the luckiest week of a 17-year cycle. So remember that can assist you with being with and in abundance. So state it as though you have it already. There's that aspect. It's 12/12 where Jen is. Also, there's we're coming into the Gemini season, and the Gemini season is it's very mental. So I feel there'll be a lot of third eye, increased psychic awareness, visions, dreams that come through in that time. The Gemini people, the Gemini beings, they are very intellectual and they run a lot of energy in their mind. And so I feel that that's going to assist us in this sort of mental acuity, this upgrading of the brain, of the psychic vision, and that will come with improved eyes, physical vision and eyes, I believe. And then on top of that, it links into twins. So if you are in a divine counterpart arrangement, then this constellation through Gemini holds a lot of codes that come in to support that. So it's funny, isn't it? Because I read the energies, but it's only in the last couple of days I've realized that. Coming into that, and I think that's we've had a new moon in Libra, and now we're going into a full moon in Gemini, and so this is the season of the twins, and so there's a lot of astrological and astronomical alignments and energetics that bring about this coming into higher consciousness and the divine counterparts coming together. So all of this is what we have to look forward to, and this coming together of divine counterparts is also a big part of Ascension because of the level of love frequency that gets activated by these connections. Alrighty. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Much love to you.